Okay, so I might make another video for you there, VG10 Animal Mother. There was a couple things that I didn't really get a chance to kind of finish the idea on, because like I say, I'm not sure how long I'm able to go on here. Probably, I think 15 is the limit, but I could be wrong. I don't know. So, when it comes to vehicles, there's a lot of different options to go. An agricultural tractor makes a lot of sense because you can run implements. ATVs are great. I would love to own an ATV. I just don't know if I'll ever have the cash to do it. There's only so many things you can focus on, right? But an ATV, if I have a little, I don't know, 3, 4 foot cultivator for behind it or something like that, and I sink that down, I'm probably going to break stuff on that ATV. Whereas a little tractor, you won't. And I found out the other day at work, I was low bedding some equipment, and one of my coworkers was sitting beside me, and he's a younger guy, right? He's on his phone, he's checking stuff out, and he was on Facebook Marketplace, and in my area, there's some pretty cheap vehicles, especially because you don't need inspections and shit like that, right? And and but the thing is that I don't know how I'll get on Facebook Marketplace because of the fact that I had a Facebook account at one time. I don't think I have it anymore. I don't even remember how to get into it. So I tried to make another Facebook account, and Facebook keeps telling me that it's fraudulent, so that is a problem. Um, but yeah, like, and I mean, like, for me, especially because there's no inspections where I am, like, the people have all kinds of stuff, and I would be no different because the guy I was talking to, he showed me this. I can't remember what kind of car it was, but it was a foreign car. It had it had ground effects and like a purple paint job with, like, I think it was pearl in it, or metal flake or something. I don't know. Anyway, I was talking to him and I said, yeah, I said, I would take the ground effects off that car, put some spacers in the suspension, and put some bigger tires, rough up that paint job, and shoot it no green. I said, and then I'd be driving around on the two tracks out here, probably shooting out the window with my 22. He's like, oh my God. He goes, you're just like everyone else around here. And the other thing that that I didn't get a chance to really finish the idea on, was the whole thing with buildings. And so the shop that I have the idea of will be done in the style of, or I shouldn't say will, I want to do in the style of a monitor barn. And it will be on a pad. Once again, like I said, I like that 4 to 5 inches of 30 MPa concrete with rebar in it, and I don't know if I would do any kind of grade beams or anything like that because I have ideas, right? Where I live, there's not a whole lot of, like, building restrictions. They're pretty cool about it. They're like, yeah, it's your land, do what you want. But what I would be thinking is, if you're familiar with a monitor barn or a horse barn or whatever, that would be kind of the style. The main part of that shop would be probably, I'm thinking 24 wide by 28 deep with 10-foot ceilings. And then there would be two wings off of it. One of them would be opened and would be a part of the shop. And each of those wings would be probably, I don't know, 12 or 14 foot, something like that. One of them would be opened as part of the shop. So that would be extra on top of that 24 wide. I don't know if I'm explaining this well. And the other one would be walled off, and it would be uninsulated, unheated, basically place to park a vehicle, right? Or storage or whatever. And then there would be an upstairs, which would have probably an 8-foot ceiling. It wouldn't be anything too crazy. And probably some sort of like a living space up there. But I don't know. I mean, that could be a bit of a pipe dream because it's pretty badass and probably cost me quite a bit of money. Just in the concrete would cost me money, you know. Because concrete's pretty expensive nowadays, especially the labor to finish it. Because I could do like a little pad or something like that, but something big like that and floating it and everything, and it'd probably be beyond me. I could do the prep work, but I don't think I could do the finishing work. And the other thing that I forgot to mention in that first video was you had talked in that teepee having like a heat source. You mentioned maybe a small fire, maybe a small stove, and you talked on firewood and stuff like that. And if you live in an area with a lot of trees, probably a great idea. Where I live, there's trees are kind of sparse. We'll say where there's trees, but they're like shorter, scrubbier cedars. Really, there's some places where there's pines and stuff like that, but it's not really. I don't know. I don't think the area that I live in is conducive to a wood stove. And so what I've always kind of thought in the back of my mind would be a good idea is I've always thought that a one of those pellet stoves would be a good idea. I originally thought that I could drive probably 5 hours, 6 hours, and get to an elevator where there's a lot of corn. But turns out those corn stoves never really panned out, so I'd probably just go with the pellet stove. And it seems like you can get different ones. You can get gravity fed ones. Most of them have an electric auger, but if you had some form of like a, I don't know, like a battery backup for it, I think it would work fairly well. You know, like even if you were off grid completely, you could run a generator for a little bit, and you know what I mean. I don't know. That's my opinion, but anyway, I'll cut that off there. Everyone, take care.